For decades, we've been looking for the ultimate answer to our energy problem. A power source that's so big, so clean, it could run everything forever. The dream has always been to, well, tame the sun. And right now, in the middle of the Moroccan desert, it really, really looks like we've finally done it. But here's where this story takes a turn. What if the very thing we built to save the world could end up accidentally destroying a cornerstone of it? What if our perfect solution is actually the problem? Okay, let's get into this. Because what's rising out of the sand in Morocco, it doesn't just look like a power plant. It looks like the future itself. It's this breathtaking, almost alien landscape of pure technology. And the promise here is just staggering. Scientists have crunched the numbers, and if we covered just 1.2% of the Sahara Desert with solar tech, we could generate enough electricity to power the entire planet. Think about that. It's the ultimate silver bullet for climate change. This is the Noor complex. It's the largest of its kind on Earth. We're talking 500,000 curved mirrors, all turning together, perfectly tracking the sun, like this giant field of robotic sunflowers. And they gather all that sunlight and focus it onto a single, terrifyingly bright point, a central tower that glows with this blinding white light. Honestly, it looks like the Eye of Sauron, just this beacon of immense, world-changing power.
So how does it work? Because this isn't your average solar panel you'd put on your roof. Oh no, this is something else entirely. It feels like we finally figured out how to bottle the sun itself. The secret ingredient, the real magic here, is molten salt. It's this special fluid that you can heat up to an incredible 565 degrees Celsius. And the amazing part is, it can hold onto that crazy amount of heat for hours and hours, long after the sun goes down. It's basically a massive thermal battery for the planet. The process itself is just beautiful in its simplicity. All those mirrors superheat the salt inside that glowing tower. Then, that incredibly hot liquid gets stored in these massive insulated tanks. And from there, anytime you need power, day or night, rain or shine, you just use that heat to boil water, create steam, and spin a turbine. It's a 24-hour sun machine. And this really shows you what a huge leap this is. See, standard panels, they make electricity directly. But when the sun sets, they just stop. You need expensive chemical batteries to store that power. But CSP, concentrated solar power, it stores heat. It completely solves solar power's biggest weakness, the night. It feels like we're finally winning. But there's a catch, a massive invisible. Okay, to understand the problem with this perfect solution, we have to stop looking up at the sun and start looking down at the sand. We have to unravel a hidden connection that stretches across an entire ocean. I want you to just think about this question for a second. It sounds like some kind of ancient riddle, right? But the answer is the key to this entire terrifying paradox. A single grain of sand in the middle of Africa and a single tree in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, 3,000 miles away. How on earth are they connected? Well, the connection begins right here. It's a place called the Bodélé Depression in Chad. It's a huge, ancient lake bed, and it has a very specific claim to fame. It is the single dustiest place on our planet. This spot is ground zero for our mystery. And the scale of what happens here, it's almost impossible to comprehend. Every single year, massive winds in the atmosphere scoop up 182 million tons of dust from just this one region, lift it high into the sky, and carry it on an impossible journey across the entire Atlantic Ocean. And here's where it gets really incredible. This isn't just dust, it's life. The Amazon rainforest, which we call the lungs of our planet, actually has incredibly nutrient-poor soil. What keeps it alive is this Saharan dust, which is packed with phosphorus from the fossilized remains of ancient microorganisms. This dust literally falls from the sky on the rainforest, like a miracle fertilizer. The desert is feeding the forest through an invisible umbilical cord made of wind. And now we can finally connect our two stories. The gleaming, futuristic solar tower in Morocco and the invisible river of life-giving dust from Chad. This is the exact point where the dream of clean energy becomes a potential nightmare. It all comes down to something incredibly simple: color. Sand is light-colored. It reflects the sun's energy back into the atmosphere, which heats up the air above it. That hot air is what drives those powerful winds. But solar panels, they're the exact opposite. They are designed to be as black as possible, to absorb heat. So if we actually went for it, if we covered just 20% of the Sahara with these dark panels, computer models show us something astonishing happens. The local surface temperature would actually cool down by about 2 degrees Celsius. Now, that might not sound like much, but on a planetary scale, a change like that is enough to break the weather.
What happens next is a terrifying chain reaction. It's a butterfly effect, where our attempt to save the planet in one place could trigger its collapse in another. Some have even called it a potential green suicide. The first domino to fall is just simple physics. Hot air rises. That's what creates the powerful winds that drive this whole system. But when the desert surface cools down, the air above it also cools and sinks. That fundamental change weakens the entire atmospheric engine that powers those winds across the ocean. And the second domino falls right after. If those powerful winds die down, they just don't have the strength anymore to pick up those 182 million tons of dust. The invisible river of life, which has been flowing for thousands of years, just stops. And there's the final domino. The Amazon's primary source of fertilizer is cut off. The lungs of the planet, the very ecosystem we were trying to save from climate change, would begin to starve to death. The results from the climate models are just horrifying. The simulation shows this chain of events could lead to a 20% drop in rainfall over the Amazon and a rise in local temperatures. The rainforest itself could collapse, turning into a dry savanna. In our heroic rush to solve one crisis, we might have accidentally created a completely different full-blown ecological collapse. The Noor plant in Morocco is a marvel of human engineering. It really is a symbol of hope, but it's also a profound warning about the incredible danger of simple solutions to unbelievably complex problems. It proves that our planet is this infinitely complex, interconnected machine. And sometimes, even with the best intentions, we're like monkeys trying to fix a Swiss watch with a screwdriver. We try to fix one tiny gear, and in the process, we accidentally break another, much more critical one on the other side of the system. And so, this paradox leaves us with a humbling and, frankly, pretty unsettling question. We are, without a doubt, clever enough to create world-altering problems, and we're clever enough to invent world-altering solutions. But are we wise enough to understand the consequences before we act?